You're listening to the Financial Source podcast on YouTube.
Welcome to today's deep dive. We are looking at the daily European opening news and financial briefings for August 4th, 2026. And there's a lot to unpack today. Over the weekend, drones struck a U.S. military base in Kuwait, and a cargo ship was attacked off the coast of Oman. So why did global markets open today with this massive sigh of relief?
Yeah, it is a really fascinating disconnect right now. We are trying to untangle how these escalating tensions in the Middle East are sending some completely counterintuitive ripples across global trade.
Right, because you have these political statements that just completely clash with the on-the-ground reality.
Exactly. I mean, U.S. President Trump is out there publicly claiming the Iran conflict is working out very well. He even suggested the Strait of Hormuz could be open by Tuesday.
But wait, U.S. officials are quietly saying something entirely different, right?
Yeah. They are telling CBS News that there aren't actually any new negotiations happening. It is just the same ongoing mediated talks. Nothing has really changed.
Which, makes total sense when you look at the reality on the ground. You have 3 drones hitting that base in Kuwait, and those were launched by Iran's elite military branch, the IRGC.
Right, and you can't forget the cargo vessel off the coast of Oman that broadcasted a projectile strike.
Oh, wow, yeah. So it is kind of like watching a split-screen movie. On one screen, you have these imminent diplomatic breakthroughs, and on the other, escalating drone strikes. So which screen is the market actually reacting to?
Well, to understand that, you have to look at Iran's reported strategy here. It relies on calculated escalation.
Meaning they are trying to avoid a wider war.
Exactly. Their leadership is convinced the U.S. isn't looking for a massive conflict, but rather just trying to gain diplomatic leverage. So Iran is basically absorbing the economic pressure and raising the costs for the U.S. through proxies.
Like Yemen's Houthis.
Right, and by actively threatening global shipping, they are betting they can sustain this localized tension until the U.S. decides there's just no military solution.
Okay, but wait. If cargo ships and military bases are actively getting hit by drones, shouldn't oil prices be skyrocketing right now due to supply chain threats? It feels completely backward that the broader U.S. stock market rallied this morning.
I mean, you would think so, yeah. But it comes down to how financial markets weigh risk. Over the weekend, Trump canceled a major retaliatory strike on Iran.
Ah, okay.
So the market is pricing in the relief of avoiding a massive regional war. That relief temporarily outweighed the reality of, daily drone skirmishes. The equal-weight S&P actually went up 1%.
Wow. Okay, so the market cares more about the ceiling of risk, like a potential global war, than the floor of everyday reality with these localized drone strikes.
That is exactly it. And that dynamic is also why oil prices actually dropped, which left the energy sector as the clear laggard today.
Didn't the administration say something about that too?
Yeah, adding to that downward pressure, Trump publicly called out oil companies over the weekend, specifically naming Exxon and Chevron. He demanded they cut retail prices because they are making too much money.
Right. And because of all this localized volatility and the sheer unpredictability of these global energy choke points, you start seeing these huge ripple effects, right? Countries scrambling to build their own independent power grids, economically speaking.
It is exactly that. When the main global lines look fragile, everyone wants their own generator, which perfectly explains the major defensive trade shifts happening simultaneously right now.
Like what's happening domestically with the tariffs?
Yes. Over 24 U.S. states are actively suing to challenge recent U.S. tariffs. They are fighting for local economic leverage because those tariffs are choking their specific regional supply chains.
And looking north, Canada is pulling a very similar move to insulate itself. Prime Minister Carney just announced plans to modernize and expand the Port of Vancouver.
Right. By expanding that port's capacity by a projected $100 billion in annual trade, Canada mechanically reduces its reliance on U.S. infrastructure.
And on those volatile global shipping lanes.
Exactly. They are physically building a larger gateway for their own exports, ensuring they can move goods independently regardless of what happens in the Middle East or in Washington.
That makes so much sense. Well, before we wrap up this deep dive, there is one headline buried in today's sources that completely flips how we think about all these global choke points.
Oh, the AI report.
Yeah. While today's markets are obsessing over physical vulnerabilities, like the Strait of Hormuz or the Port of Vancouver, a new report notes that China is growing extremely anxious about Anthropic's new AI framework, Mythos.
Right. Beijing is reportedly worried this specific AI model could be wielded against its economy.
which shifts the entire paradigm of leverage, right? From physical trade routes to digital infrastructure.
It really does. It completely changes the definition of a global choke point.
So while today's markets are fixated on crude oil and drones, it makes you wonder if AI could become the ultimate geopolitical weapon of tomorrow. Definitely something for you to think about the next time you see the stock market rally on seemingly bad news.